The International Meeting of Rabbis and Ministers of Jewish Messianic Congregations recently took place in Ukraine. This important leaders' meeting was attended by Jonathan Bernis, President and CEO of Jewish Voice Ministries International, JVMI, and his team, as well as Boris Grisenko, Senior Rabbi of Kyiv Jewish Messianic Congregation.
Since 1990, I've been involved, of course, with the Messianic Jewish Congregation here in Kyiv, and the growth of the daughter congregations. And so I felt that there are practical things that I can help do, not only to help the Messianic community here, but to help Ukraine through the Messianic community. And that's my goal for being here. It's short, but it's important. Yeah, basically the same. I wanted to hear from the leaders. What do you need from us? What do you need not only for yourselves, but more importantly, what do you need to be a blessing to others? Because I shared this principle, it's very important. Everything God gives you, He gives for someone else. And so it's not just being a blessing or helping to bless the Messianic community in Ukraine, but helping the Messianic community to be a blessing to their neighbors, to their communities.
This has been a very beneficial meeting. Exchange of opinions. Our ministers shared with Jonathan about their view at the current events, about the present needs of the body of the Messiah in Ukraine. Their experiences gave them essential insights into the discussion, since all of them are most actively involved in receiving and sorting humanitarian aid that comes to Lviv. They unload, reload, and distribute it.
Yeah, I think, sometimes in times of crisis or even war, like what's happening since the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the international response can be one of pity and of staying far away, right? I pity them, but I'm keeping myself safe. And so we're really rejecting both of those responses in the sense of keeping ourselves safe, coming here to be with the brethren, to fellowship with brothers and sisters whom God has called into Messianic ministry and the larger Christian community, people who are called to serve the Lord and who are doing that during very difficult times here in Ukraine. And so we wanted the fellowship.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in phases. So the first phase now, the first phase we dealt with and we may have to deal with again is the massive refugee issue. Over 10 million displaced Ukrainians now as a result of the war. We don't know if there'll be another mass wave of refugees again, but certainly the basic essentials, food, medicines, meeting practical needs, that's what we're looking at now. There was an outpouring of great support in the beginning, but what about the next months? They're going to be difficult months. The next year, it's going to be a difficult year, and we want to make sure that people have food, that people have clothing, that people have the basic medicines and toiletries. We want to help to facilitate that.
Besides humanitarian aid, among the topics discussed at the meeting was the future of the Messianic movement as well as development of different Messianic congregations.
We wanted to take a chance to come, not just for humanitarian effort in general, but to pay attention to what's happening within the Messianic Jewish community, and specifically through the work of Rabbi Boris Grisenko and all the ministers in the Kyiv Jewish Messianic Congregation, because we know that they're doing a work here already of caring for the Jewish elderly who are stuck in basements, and so and also just caring for the needs of the congregants in general, but also seeing this as an opportunity to reach out to their neighbors, to care for Jewish people and the neighbors who are non-Jewish, and see the work of loving people from a place of loving Jesus, Yeshua, in their hearts and in their minds. So we're just so glad to be here and see everything that's happening, but also find out how we can support the work that's happening here.
We just sat with a bunch of ministers, and really in the room you can feel that God is stirring something here and that He's actually launching people out into ministry. So we got a time to pray, and really we're praying for families that have been separated, but we know that God is going to turn so many things around for His good and for His glory through this.
A great and fruitful time. We've planned our future work, how to better help the people. Since there's still a lot of people caught in the midst of humanitarian crisis, they need food, medical supplies, and of course, we're the ones who should be meeting the needs of those people. So it's important that we cooperate on the city, congregation, and national levels.
It was so important for all of us to meet at such a tumultuous time as this. It was such an encouragement from the Lord to see brothers, ministers, Rabbi Boris, Jonathan Bernis, and his team. It was a precious time of fellowship. We also brought up important strategic topics, talked about ministry development, new directions, and new opportunities that are opening now to help others.